What causes fear for an individual may be subjective, mostly. But anything from being startled to feeling pure, nauseating fears can show what someone is made of. How much fear can you take before you react? Before you scream? Before you flee? Before the bending branch snaps and you find that you've gone completely insane. Another classic of the infamous Universal Monsters. Boris Karloff reemerges with another iconic role as Imhotep in 1932's The Mummy, directed by Karl Freund. In Karloff's second memorable monster role, he garners as much sympathy from spectators as he boasts power and confidence, thus creating a more sophisticated role for himself than in Frankenstein. Though this performance requires him to speak, and freely move among the living, he contains a quieter presence to him, softly haunting the picture this time around. The use of his calm nature, his silent soul-invading stare, and the subtlety of his movements make for a memorable and poetic antagonist. Imhotep, who was mummified alive. And buried with a curse upon his tomb. Is discovered in 1921 by archaeologists.
Method is everything in archaeology, my boy. We always deal with our finds of the day in order.
Well, it seems to me that box we dug up today with the very peculiar gentleman over there is the only find we've made in the past 2 months that'll bring this expedition any medals from the British Museum.
At first, they are excited about the discovery.
I had a good look at him when I photographed him. Never saw a mummy like that.
Neither I imagine as anyone else.
But of course, are more reluctant about things after discovering a cursed text upon a box found buried with the mummy.
Death, eternal punishment for anyone who opens this casket in the name Amun-Ra, the king of the gods. Good heavens, what a terrible curse.
Well, let's see what's inside.
Wait! You read the curse.
Two of the archaeologists decide to open the box in private.
Oh, come, Dr. Miller. Surely a few thousand years in the earth would take the mumbo-jumbo off any old curse.
Ah, I cannot speak for a boy. Go on with your cataloging. We'll open it later.
But the young and over-enthusiastic archaeologist lets curiosity get the better of him and decides to open the box alone. And discovers a scroll inside. The scroll is the Scroll of Thoth, which contains within its hieroglyphics the ability to resurrect the dead. Bringing us to tonight's scene. one that I find to be a masterclass on how to paint genuine horror using but the most subtle of brushstrokes. During his translating of the scroll's symbols, reads part of it out loud, thus granting life back to the ancient Imhotep. The calming stillness of this scene can cause your nerves to be placed on edge. The pacing of the scene wisely takes its time, almost as if the scene itself is moving at the pace of Imhotep's resurrection. The beauty of this scene is the many ways it chooses to take the more subtle approach to everything. It walks where a lesser film would run. It caresses rather than bludgeons. Note that there is also absolutely no music to be heard at any point throughout the entire scene. The scene keeps us entombed in its unsettling quiet. Then, Karloff presents us with an ever-memorable moment of the dead opening their eyes in a shot that you can almost feel. As he begins to animate for the first time in centuries, the newly living mummy makes his way over to the young archaeologist lost in his work. And upon seeing the creature standing and moving, there are a number of ways that they could have chosen to let this scene play out. An orchestral clash of sound, an immediate defensive attack on the monster, leading to something of a showdown, the man trying to escape, or simply the monster attacking the man on sight. The scene, however, chooses none of the above. It instead continues forth with the wisest of all choices, and creates something far more memorable.
What's the matter, man? For heaven's sakes, what is it?
He went for a little walk. You should have seen his face.
The man simply snaps, losing his mind almost instantly, and laughs maniacally as the monster simply chooses to take the scroll and walk away. Since childhood, this scene has remained etched permanently into my mind, and is among my favorite classic horror scenes of all time. I have always found it terrifying and effective. The laughter by actor Bramwell Fletcher is far superior, I feel, than any score would have created for this scene. The gloriously haunting shot of the rotting bandages sliding across the floor, leaving our imagination to wonder what the walking dead must look like disappearing into the dark. To the slow reveal of an empty sarcophagus, assuring us that this nightmare is in fact a reality. From the undeniable horrors of this scene, to the action being somewhere between humorous and dreadful, to the impending doom of the realization that the curse was real, every decision made in directing this scene is perfect. The concept of mummies being resurrected has been redone and retold countless times. But I do not think there is a better scene that exemplifies the utmost terror of such an unnatural event better than the one you just